boys and girls, goblins and ghouls, and whatever my look is. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something really interesting. We're going to be talking about the Georgia Republican primary that happened on June 16th. Real quick disclaimer. I believe in whatever you believe in. Your opinion's clearly the right one. I'm just here to voice a little bit of opinions, but nothing that you should take seriously. This is all for laughs, giggles, and information. So let's talk about it. So didn't know the Democrats are not going to have a runoff because they've rallied around a woman named Keisha Lance Bottoms. She is. I don't know. I don't really know much about her. I'm more interested in Republicans, in my opinion. In my opinion, only because I'm in a conservative state of Georgia, and that's what's usually the winning party it can be. Usually, usually. All right. So let's talk about them. You two candidates. Burt Jones, who is lieutenant governor of Georgia. He's been in office for about 14 years. I'm pretty sure he's been there for a long time. Um, and the big thing about him is that, well, he's an experienced politician compared to Burt Jones, who's a businessman. He's a healthcare CEO, I believe. He's also a billionaire, I do remember correctly. But he's a political outsider. That's a big thing. He is a political outsider. That's really going to affect this election. So let's talk about him. So you see here in this election, you have Burt Jones, who has the GOP party backing of that being Donald Trump and MAGA, which is going to be pretty critical in this election, considering it's Georgia and the Republicans tend to do better here. So I'm going to talk about what they want. I'm going to talk about a few issues. I'm going to talk about, you're going to guess it, taxes, education, immigration, and abortion. All right. I'm going to be skipping out, actually, I'm going to be skipping out on gun rights and election laws and participation because I don't think that's that important to Georgia. In my opinion, of course, it is important regardless. You should do your own research about it, but in my opinion, I think it's cooler to talk about other things. So, what do our candidates think about taxes? Burt Jones wants to eliminate, eventually, I do mean eventually, the state income tax, as many people do. It's a very libertarian policy, if you do remember. If you remember the Libertarian Party from a few years ago when they tried to run and they got a good holding in states, I don't know, it was like Virginia when there was United Right rally, but he wants to eventually, during his term, get rid of that tax. He wants to expand homestead exemptions and freeze property taxes. Um, but his main back of that is that he cut taxes when he was lieutenant governor, and he's still a lieutenant governor. So that's his big thing, is that he's cut a lot of taxes, and that's probably one of the best things about it. He's going to be cutting taxes. Rick Jackson, on the other hand, supports reducing the state income tax, not getting rid of it, which is the big thing. If you didn't know, the state income tax is basically where the government takes a portion of your money you get out of your salary, and everyone hates it. I've talked to a lot of people about it. They don't like it. I was at a Georgian polling place up in Fayetteville a few weeks ago. I think it was like a week ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago, talking to people because I was going to post the interview, but then I was advised not to do it, so there goes that. But everyone liked Burt Jones' idea of getting rid of the income tax. While Rick Jackson thinks it's a good moneymaker for Georgia, which it is. But do we really want to keep it? I don't know. I'm kind of libertarian myself. In my opinion, I think it's a good idea to get rid of it. But then again, it does reduce the state's income. But Rick Jackson really made both of them a key part of his campaign, along with the next thing we're talking about, immigration. So this is pretty controversial. Immigration is a controversial topic in the United States. Take this with a grain of salt, okay? Do not come after me. Do not come after me, please. I am just a lowly YouTuber trying to get this stuff done. So remember, my opinion is your opinion. No, that's not how you say it. My apologies. Your opinion is clearly the right one, and I believe everything you say. Wait. So we're talking about immigration real quick. Burt Jones, he wants to help. He really wants to cooperate more with federal authorities. You have ICE, one of their southeast region stations down here in Atlanta. If you've ever been, you get protests outside, but it's a pretty cool building. But then also banning sanctuary cities in the state of Georgia, which is a big thing. If you didn't know, sanctuary cities is basically a place where immigrants can come and basically get free housing, stuff like that. That's the basic thing of it. If not the exact definition, all right, it's not, but that's the basic gist of it. He wants to make sure there's no safe haven cities in Georgia, which is a pretty big task considering everything. Do we have any sanctuary cities in Georgia? I don't believe so. So it would be pretty interesting. He just want to make sure they don't pop up because the Democrats are probably going to do the same thing. Rick Jackson also has made immigration one of his biggest things about his campaign. He believes he wants to leave the state in mass deport. He wants to leave the country, lead the country in mass deportations, which is crazy. That's pretty radical thing to do. It's pretty conservative, but he looks like he's going to do it. He also wants to do a lot of Trump era border policies like that, and then strengthen both of them want to strengthen law enforcement, which is a good thing, in my opinion. If you don't want the law enforcement, you be you. All right. Let's talk about education because I am a student here in Georgia, and I really want my state to be the best. You know, Georgia doesn't have the greatest literacy rates. We are not. We have unfortunately fallen behind on that. Brian Kemp's, our current governor, Brian Kemp's gonna do has done a good job about that. Making sure, using policies like, if you remember, what's it? Crap. Like 2000 era No Child Left Behind Bushes, the whole thing. They both want to strengthen education. That's Thanksgiving. Um, right. Let's talk about Burt Jones real quick. He wants to help support very conservative policies in the state of Georgia. What does that mean exactly? We don't know. We could go do poll Texas and make sure the Ten Commandments are in every classroom, which is, I think it's against the First Amendment, but who knows? If it's happening in Texas, it's gonna happen here. And then really wants to help the Republicans push their agenda in classrooms, which let's keep politics out of classrooms. In my opinion, because well, I'm addicted to politics, and I blame the school for doing that. Jackson, he wants to help. He really wants to help more workforce development, and that means training people to come work in our factories. But also wants to help, the students and stuff. He wants to do more of the more No Child Left Behind policies from Bush, jump literacy rates, and ban both of them want to ban cell phones in our schools. Which I would like to have my cell phone. In my opinion, it's not yours. In my opinion, but who knows? All right, what have we done? So, abortion. This is a very, very, very hard topic to talk about. I am neither for or against abortion. I just don't. I think it's interesting to see. Well, what do they think about abortion? Genuinely, Republicans don't like abortion. You've seen people like conservative Charlie Kirk talk about it, which many of them are idle them. Remember, your belief is my belief. I believe whatever you say. So, abortion. Burt Jones. So, supports Georgia's current heartbeat law, which is it's hard to explain, and you can go look for it yourself. But I don't feel like explaining it just because I don't want to get hate comments, which is probably going to get the video. And then, pro life. If you didn't know what it means just they don't like abortion. Most Republicans are against abortion, while on the opposite side, Democrats are more are more pro-abortion because they think it's their person, it's rights, it's your human right to say, hey, you don't have to have a baby. Which I mean, I'm not going to speak on that. I'm not going to speak on that. But I think Jackson, if I remember correctly from the debate, wants to reform the what's the Heartbeat Act, the was yeah the Heartbeat Law, which is going to be interesting how he does that. In my opinion, uh, I do really need to work on that. I think more issues we can attend to. So that's the major policies of them. If you looking at the chance of them winning, Burt Jones leading by 70 to 80% in polls, saying, well, he's most likely going to win. He has the backing of Trump. He has the backing of most Republicans. While you have the more ultra conservatives, such as Chris Carr, he's our Attorney General, and then also the governor, Brian Kemp. I don't. I really want. I almost had the chance to meet him, but then again, I was sleeping. I didn't get a chance to meet him when it was like an opportunity to go meet him like some rally. I don't remember, but I recommend. It's gonna be interesting to see. Georgia voters, I recommend please go vote. Don't be that person who says, "Oh, well, I like the politics, but I'm not going to go vote." I personally can't vote, but I'll be voting. I'll be at the polls, just talking to people, see what they want. But yeah, mm, like you said, like I said, Burt Jones, they has very strong backings for Republican activists, but that can also hurt him. If you didn't know, the Republicans aren't too likable right now. It aren't too likable right now by most standards. They People around Donald Trump tend to do bad in Democrat areas, especially places like Atlanta, which is going to be interesting to see. The Democrats usually sweep the whole Atlanta metro area, but then it could be different now. People are starting to like Donald Trump a little bit more. All right, Jackson. He is he has a pretty sad story. He grew up in foster care when his parents left him. I guess he ran away from the projects to go start his business, and then became CEO. So, like an American dream kind of story, except he's not an immigrant. I mean, that's fine too. So, remember, Burt Jones only had the lead in the primary by 38%. I'll say it again. He had the lead in the primary in like the first primary. I think it was on like what like in March by what was it? 39%, 38%, something like that, in the 30s, because there were so many Republican candidates. The Republican Party has had an issue rallying around one person for governor for all these positions. It's been a problem. They just can't figure out how to rally around one person. I'm going the wrong way. My left, Bobby. My apologies. Well, the Democrats have been good at trying to beat Republican influence by rallying around one person where you see blind spots. All right. And then you see Burt Jones, outsider, businessman. Um, he has never held a public office, which could be his biggest weakness, but he also has the backing of the very popular governor being, what's his name, Brian Kemp, which is pretty big, having backing the governor. And then also the attorney general, Chris Carr, who I met him. So he campaigns in this little car. I think it's like wrapped with his name on it. And I was at Chick-fil-A once writing a script for an interview I was gonna do for video, which like I said didn't happen because I was invited not to do it. And then I saw his car pass by the Chick-fil-A I was at. I was like, oh my God, there's Chris Carr, who ran for governor. He ran for governor but lost, so he rallied around Burt Jones. Where was I? I need to stop ranting. I'm sorry, but Georgia politics is very interesting. I recommend go do your own research. Don't get just from me. And then if you want to do more videos like this, please tell me to. I'm going to be doing a video in the near future with Found Not Found on War Dots. I really want to get started getting the habit of making more videos. If you want to see more of these political videos, just let me know in the comments. And that's all I have really. Like I said, go vote. If you're in Georgia, can and do your own research. That's all I have. All right. My name is Carlos Crack. My name is Carlos Cracking, and I thank you for watching.